negotiations. It says, it highlights his mindset of confidence, opportunism, and calculated risk taking to achieve favorable outcomes. Yeah, okay. Because, brother, I was going to ask you, right? Because sometimes we see the world's wisdom, but as Christians, we discard that ultimately, even if there is a pragmatist way of things working, right? We know that pragmatism does not equal biblical views. So, what as far as deal making, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. So if not, that's okay. But is there anything as Christians that we should be, considering when trying to make deals? Because it could get very selfish.
Yeah, well, obviously, I think honesty is above all. I mean, I've been in sales my whole life, and I've been a believer. I was non-believer in sales, and you definitely want to be able to sleep at night. You don't want to be a liar. You want to be able to gain trust, build relationships. I think those are all things when making a deal. And look, I would even say this, and actually, you know what? At my job, they actually made me do a small presentation on trust and building trust. And I'm just going to go over that really quick here. Let me just pull up my notes. I have it here. Let's see. And maybe I do, maybe I don't. But here's the points, okay? Maybe I don't have them here. That's fine. Yeah, why establishing trust is important, okay? We want to establish trust because without building trust, nobody's going to do business with you. And if you can gain someone's trust, now they're going to be open to doing business. And I think we're seeing that throughout the whole world right now with Donald Trump. People are trusting him. Why? Because he's not number one, he's not a neocon. He's not just pushing the red button just because he can. So, Saudi is trusting him. And unfortunately, Qatar, we'll see how that goes. These are all risky moves, though. And in some way, Donald Trump is extending out an olive branch to some of these people. And so he's building trust. They're gaining trust with him, right? And because nobody's going to give you money if they don't trust you. If I go try to sell a roof, to a homeowner, they're not just going to hand me a $10,000 check to get started on the roof if they don't trust me, right? So trust is definitely important. Last thing I'll say about this is it is okay to earn a profit. Okay, it's not okay to rip somebody off, but it's okay to earn a profit. It's okay to negotiate. God negotiated with Abraham. We can see that in Genesis. Okay, God negotiated with Abraham. Kings negotiated. Presidents negotiate. Everybody negotiates. It's okay to negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Thank you for sharing that.
I think when I look at myself, it's like I was just having a conversation like this the other day, but it was basically like, I'm not the guy that you send down to the, what is it, in New York City, where you're going to go haggle, like a flea market, or like you're going to go buy this bag over in Chinatown. I'm really not good at negotiating. What I'm really good at is transparency and this type of stuff. And I'm a big fan of humor and transparency and vulnerability, but none of those skill sets really help me all that much in reality when I'm trying to get a good deal. I'm always very tempted just to lay out all my cards and let my honesty and my transparency do the negotiation for me. But it doesn't usually work out that way for me. And I literally have friends of mine who I know are better at negotiating that I bring along with me when I want to haggle. If I'm going to buy a house or a car or something like that, I literally want to bring someone else besides me. And everybody knows that I was just negotiating with to buy a van, and the things that were coming out of my mouth, it's just like, do you want to get a deal, Matt? Do you even know how to get a deal? It's, so Donald Trump obviously has that skill set. And when it comes to discerning the members of the body and using them for the skill that they have, I'm so happy that I've given him benefit of doubt this entire time, and he's just he's proven himself to be a good steward of that particular skill. And at this point in time, I don't know how much I'm going to be doubting him moving forward into the future. Not that he's going to secure every deal, that he's going to be right every time, but yet that this is the right approach, and we do have the right man for the job, and that man for the job is not Matt Lepasic.
Yeah, well, I'd hire you, Brother Matt. I would definitely hire you to just make all the deals in the country. You could you could make a giant, like they have in Brazil. You could have the giant gospel gears cross, and that would be like a tourist attraction. It would be like 100 stories tall. You could like ride the gears to get to the top. Come on, that'd be pretty cool.
I get really nervous, man. I really don't like. I don't know what it is. I get anxious. And I don't have confidence also in my ability to negotiate, Yeah. But I love just like TMI, too much information. And I sort of make people get like uncomfortable. Like I was at the grocery store the other day, and she just asked, I don't want to get into it, but the people ask me a question, the way that I feel them out where they want to hear more is I'm just like way too much information. It's like, bro, I just asked you like if you're ready for Mother's Day, and you just gave me like a 15-minute speech. And that's sort of how I gauge whether they want to hear more of what I have to say. And I know if they come back in after me weirding them out with TMI, that they really do want to engage with me. And that's the way I like to do things. But it doesn't really work that well when it works for like evangelizing, it works for making friends, it works for knowing where you stand with people and stuff, but it doesn't work for making deals. I've just seen it over and over and over again. Like my friend Robbie, he's really good at making deals. You know what I mean? It's like, Rob, you're coming with me. Come with me. I need you today. I got to go get a deal on this thing. And I get super anxiety trying to negotiate. So
everybody needs a Rob in their life.
Yeah. Well, do we want to continue because he's gonna get more into the pharmaceutical stuff, but this is a unedited clip on Sean Hannity, and we will get more close up of Ruffles and the Schneider sausages or whatever those things are.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Drugs, which has been very, very painful for a lot of Americans. 80% of medications are created in America, and then we end up paying more for those medications. Foreign countries do not pay as much as we do. You said that is over. Can you explain why this is such a big deal?
Well, for many years, we were taken advantage of by other countries and the drug companies, but I blame the other countries in a way more, the European Union, etc. They were very nasty and very tough to the drug companies, and they would give them a very low price for drug costs in the European nations. And when that price was given, that was it. They wouldn't negotiate. They said, let America pay for the difference.
You hear what's happening here? You hear what's happening is that Donald Trump is recognizing the fleecing of America through pharmaceutical companies for charging Americans double, triple, quadruple even for prescription drugs. And yet the same companies, the same drug makers, the same drugs, the same exact ones that would be sold to other countries like Europe, the EU, Britain, and all over the world, they would sell those drugs at a much cheaper rate. But yet the Americans would pay an astronomical amount more. Why? Well, because we were subsidizing other countries for their drugs. We were paying that they can get their drugs at a much cheaper cost. Well, why does the Americans, if we're making the drugs, why do we have to pay more? Right? It's
a scam. It's a ripoff.
Yeah, and
insulting.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say it's like these pharmaceutical companies were in cahoots with the politicians to get paid, and Donald Trump is saying no. You don't think that the globalists are upset that their scam is now over, right?
Well, he actually says later
not in America first. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just saying I don't know if it's in this clip, but he actually said later that like when he was talking with the pharmaceutical companies, they weren't upset with them. They're like, yeah, we do think it's time. It's like, yeah? You mean you've been ripping me off for 10 years? You kidding me?
Yeah,
Like you
it's
get
time.
angry in business like that because that's like usury. Like you said, it's
Yeah.
okay to make a profit, but when you find out that someone's been making 15 times the amount of profit than you thought they were, it's like, what? I can go to like Turkey and get that thing for 15 cents? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see the clip? Did you see the clip? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, brother Jonathan. Go ahead.
I just wanted to just quick. She said, my bestie, Elon 2026 said, my bestie once told me when negotiating, back down. The guy needs to eat. You guys know what that means? Like, she means like he needs to eat. He needs to make some money. He needs to live. You're gonna take food off the man's plate. That's a good one, Elon. That must have been a
Did
good
you guys
memory.
see that? Did you guys see that clip of Donald Trump when he was talking about how he signed the executive order? He was talking about how he had this friend of his who was a fat guy, and he wasn't going to name his name. He's like, I'm not going to name his name, but he's a fat guy, and he was taking this fat drug.
Fat Rick.
And he was
Yes.
taking
Fat Rick.
Yeah, he was taking this fat drug. But it didn't work, did it?
No, he said, man.
I don't think it's working.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
working.
we gotta find that clip, man. We gotta find that clip, dude. It was
it's
hilarious.
Fat
And he's looking
Ron.
over at RFK. He was like, "Oh, it didn't work."
And now
Yeah,
every
man.
time I